What's up, guys? We're back here at the GSL Code S. It's the final day of the round of 32. Saxery is rolling nerds.
Yeah, he played quite well. Had some well-placed attacks there, and he's in that winner match. So he only needs to win one more, but it's going to be against someone very much more experienced than him in the GSL, that's for sure. Well, I guess everyone in this group really is more than Saxery is. It's his first.
He is the rookie for GSL, but
Curious has been in 11 times more Code S's.
Do you think that loss from MMA was more MMA's fault than it was Saxery's just brilliant play? Because there were some weird builds, especially game one, the gold base being taken, and MMA doing a generic kind of safe against everything, assuming that there are no gold bases on the map build.
I think that Saxery played well, but I don't think it was like brilliant play. I think it was like solid strategies, good. It was like he did them well. There was nothing wrong with it. Like he played well and it was smart. But yeah, I think it was more MMA's fault. It's like, well, MMA, I mean, you see he's walking around with the Roach Warren, right? And now you see his bailing speed, and you are not in position to stop this attack that has to be coming because he's not trying to get to 200 supply and play a defensive macro game with Roach Baneling. That's not what he's doing.
I'm interested to see how MMA does in the losers match.
I can list a lot of things that he could be doing and a few things that he's not doing. Yeah. And that's under not, so you have to be ready to defend that.
We're going to go to our second best of three here. It's going to be Curious against SOS. I think a lot of people would say SOS should be the favorite here, but Curious knocked him out previously, so we didn't see SOS in the GSL Code S last time. So,
look, I actually think that this is maybe a little bit Curious favored.
Okay.
Almost because Stormhosts are like gone from ZvP because
that's a weird way to say it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's more likely now that Curious just makes like a bunch of Roaches and Hydras, and generally speaking, that's a good way to play against SOS because he's like such a globetrotter that like he kills you in your transitions and stuff. Like you're like trying to do something, he just comes in and like kills you because he's got like weird stuff that you don't expect. But like if you just are sitting on making Roaches and Hydras or something like that, fancy stuff isn't going to kill you. What's going to kill you is strong force fields and defensive macro play, which is not what SOS generally does. But, I mean, the guy has such a range. Who knows?
Curious is one of the OGs of StarCraft II. This guy's been around forever. 4 years of casting him, and I'm not tired of it. I love the way Curious approaches the game. He is, like, I would say Tier 3, Tier 2 for GSL Code S. Feels a bit weird to put it like that, but we really do have players.
What do you mean by that, though?
Like Life would be Tier 1. We always expect Life to be in the final 4.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know,
well, you expect him to be in the round of 32.
Yeah, maybe round of 16, but generally in round of 32.
Actually, a lot of groups he's been in over the years, I predicted that he would get to the round of 16. I feel Curious he's quite good. Definitely top 32 player in the world.
SOS, this is a player that everybody hates to play against. He is very good at so many different builds. I have a question. Is the design on the shirt, is that supposed to look like it's a tie?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, I'm glad we got that out of the way. Now I'm definitely ready to cast this game. No, but SOS, he's
no, it's supposed to look like a noose. It's like a noose. He cut himself down and came to GSL.
He said life is worth living. I can win this right here. SOS is really a guy that's got so many builds. It's just so hard to prepare against.
Yeah. But I mean, making a bunch of Roaches and Hydras off 3 bases, like going towards Vipers is not. It's not like something you're gonna catch with like a whole bunch of variation necessarily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like the older style of Zerg, it was. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a funny the way that I'm saying it, but that's kind of how I feel. I'm actually leaning slightly towards Curious taking this. But I mean, if SOS takes, I wouldn't be surprised. I think SOS overall is a better player than Curious.
Oddly enough, the loser is going to go up against MMA. I think most of the players regarded Saxery as the weaker player here. So if I'm one of these two players, I'm definitely hoping to win this because I would say I probably would have an easier route here. Now, the game is loaded up, so let's get ready. Tell your friends to tune in here. This is the last day of the round of 32 here in the GSL Code S. We've got a great matchup for you, a best of 3 with Curious against SOS.
Otasis.
Oh my god, in the bottom right, he's about to be... Jeez.
SBENU Curious.
Well, that's SOS for you.
I'm just going to play a normal game. I practiced.
Sent probes out
In
as
the
soon
upper
as
right, in the blue,
Junior Green Wings SOS.
a guy whose cheese would make Kraft Macaroni proud. Look at this. He's like, we don't even know what late game is.
I believe it's not even like Kraft. I don't think it actually uses cheese. I think it's actually like cheese powder or something. Like it's not actually technically
that's
cheese at
definitely
all.
not real cheese.
It's like cheese flavored something. I'm pretty sure.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
That Kraft mac and cheese is actually
Don't eat
the
that
cheese
junk,
you get at
guys.
Subway is not real cheese. All right, so this guy doesn't know what late game is. This guy just wants to win. Look at Curious. Look at this sucker.
This is actually the way to
gonna
live life, guys.
This is
YOLO.
This is YOLO in it. Yeah.
You live exactly one time.
If this guy was in Lord of the Rings, he'd be YOLO Baggins.
Excellent.
This is.
If this guy was a Protoss player.
Oh my God,
wow.
he's going hatch first. Oh my God, the humanity.
Yeah, this is pretty brutal.
Really, this is like, if we could make a cartoon version of this, it's like Curious is tied to the train tracks and he doesn't know it.
But normally that person gets away somehow.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not getting away from this.
Yeah, this would just be some weird stuff you'd see on liveleak.com.
He's getting slain.
I hate that. I hate seeing those things.
World Star Hip Hop.
WorldStarHipHop.com. All right. Well, we have. That's the worst site on the internet.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's like proof that we're all going to go extinct as humans and stuff like WorldStarHipHop.com. Well, this is really.
He's like, hey, I'm scouting. Oh,
the ballet that's called Rock, Paper, Scissors.
So right now, SOS is planning his build for Game 2.
Yep. Okay. Okay, now let's just. Can we get a read on Curious's face? Oh man, the salt.
He looks just devastated.
It looks. Yeah, the sheer amount of saltiness being experienced right now by Curious. Here comes the second Zelt. Look how fast that goes. Did you know that Protoss have Chrono Boost?
What's that?
Oh, just a silly little thing that makes stuff come out faster.
Well,
you know, it's actually very hard to micro
drones.
here. Oh my God! And you know, SOS is not going to miss micro this at all. But don't worry, there's 2 more Zealots coming.
yeah, if he gets a spine up, he starts to hold. But I mean, it's already 11 probes. He's like doing all right.
Problem is that yeah, they want to get the pylon here. Well, actually, you know, Curious is doing a decent job.
Yeah, that was a
actually.
good surround.
Yeah, that was
like,
really nicely done.
That was a huge mistake.
Considering no link speed there, that was pretty damn good.
I think the main problem with this is that he can just continually make Zealots. Of course, a Ling counterattack could become scary, but like if you just continually make Zealots here, your opponent is on one base, and eventually you have enough that no amount of stop position drones will prevent this spine crawler from dying. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, he's actually sending the 2 Zealots home to make sure he doesn't lose every single probe. But the Queen is coming out, and that's kind of putting a lot of pressure on him. Like, so far, Curious is doing a pretty good job. It's just he's sitting on 8 drones on you know, one base, so it's not like he has great prospects if he holds on, you know?
So there's a dilemma for both parties here. SOS has to send some of those Zealots back here to try to help keep his main base alive since he only has probes here. But at the same time, you know, there's interrupted larva injects, possibly even you know, transferring to heal with the Queens there too, back in the main. And you can keep making Zealots here. So this is sort of the way SOS just approaches this game. Now look at this. He can go around the spine crawler.
This is good. This is really good.
What do you mean by SOS?
No, by Curious.
Okay.
To move that spine up like that is...
But he can just go around it. Look.
Yeah. The thing is, there's enough Queens and Zerglings that he can kill off all of these Zealots. Like, he should be able to just persevere here.
Oh!
And that's some really solid play there by Curious. What a nice hold.
So Curious did actually escape from the train tracks. This is like all those movies we've seen.
But looking at it, 19 probes against 16 drones, and there's not a second base. He's got a whole bunch of Zerglings, so we'll see what he can get done with those.
Now there's no forge here.
Yeah, there's
no gates in the main either. We see that's going to be starting here, but this is not enough Zealots.
No, it's not. He actually can probably do a lot of damage with these Lings. Trying to make it as cost inefficient for Curious as is possible.
Wow, nice control by SOS. I mean, really milking out as much damage. Oh! Okay, so he's fine actually now. Mothership Core is coming out.
You know, this is the difference between SOS and everyone else. He's like, well, you know, even if he ends up holding this after going hatch first into pool, the thing is he'll only have one hatch, and though I'll probably only get home with about 2 Zealots, normally I have the Mothership Core out as 18 Lings come. It's like, okay, SOS, that's cool. Like,
it's pretty funny.
I don't know how you know all this stuff.
You know, he has the plan B for every weird build he does. Plan C runs out of letters in the alphabet.
He's the only player that possesses a hyperbolic time chamber, I do believe.
Wow. I don't know if we allow that in GSL, but...
Yeah, well. He's actually 100 years old. I put a lot of makeup on him.
So the Zealot's going to poke in here now.
The one Zealot counterattack.
This is the Creep Tumor assassination play.
Tries to get another one, a little bit greedy there.
Oh my god, he almost lost that.
Does force it back.
Okay, so Link Speed's just now starting as the first sentry's about to come out.
But this is actually going like much more into a normal game from here.
Yeah, it certainly is.
The big problem is how late this expansion is for Curious, and even though his drone count now has shot above the probe count, it's very recent. It's not like he's been sitting at similar amounts of drones or even more drones for a long time.
That Nexus is about to finish. He's got a nice wall in here. He doesn't have anything besides the core, right? He's getting more gateways, but there's no tech that finished, right?
No tech.
No tech, okay. So, for Curious, you have the Roach Warren coming in. He's actually, I believe SOS just does a push here with a bunch of gates. He's actually getting the 4th gateway now. So he might just do some 6-gate, timing attack.
It looks like Curious is preparing for it, though. He's making a Roach Warren quite early on, and that's exactly what he needs here to go with that Zergling speed. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
He's like, I knew I'd need this red Zealot. Oh, man.
Well, the problem is that, I mean, yes, roaches are going to be coming out, but, yeah, okay, so Link Speed's going to finish, but when you have a lot of sentries, and if he's making stalkers with this, then it's, you can usually pick your battles, you know? Oh, the probe.
Ooh, that's a pretty big deal right there. That he catches the probe and all the pylons. There's no proxy pylons now. He has to bring out a new probe. This slows it down. His 4th and 5th gate finished up, and he turned them into warp gates. He was supposed to have a pylon for warping right then, and it just wasn't the case. In fact, he was even supply blocked. So he's so far behind on how many units he was supposed to have here. I imagine he's going to throw away the attack altogether. It's just, if he does the attack now, it's so much weaker than it would have been.
Well, the Lings are keeping this rush from actually activating. This would have been a different game had those pylons finished and he was able to warp anything in there.
No.
Let's see. I don't know. Let's see where the game goes from here.
Ooh.
That force field.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
But every few seconds that pass here, Zerg is getting more and more safe from an attack. There is no tech, by the way, for Protoss. It's just tier 1. Stalker, Sentry, Zealot. So this is really his follow-up here. The game can balance out from here if Zerg takes a lot of damage but still holds Protoss off. But Zerg is leaning more towards tech. He's getting +1 range attack.
He doesn't really have that much. He's just got like a handful of roaches that don't even have speed yet. Very nice force fields go off. It's still looking very good for SOS here with this attack.
And he's going to keep pushing forward here. Now, don't forget, there's Time Warps ready. And not a lot of Lings right now.
Yeah,
so, there you go. None. Very favorable engagement there.
Oh, man.
And he's got enough to block off the right side if there's enough roaches coming up here to deem that necessary. Notice he micros the Mothership Core a little bit further forward here. The Stalkers are going to be the one tanking the damage. Then engages the right side. Still one more Time Warp available here.
Yeah, indeed, and plenty of force fields as well, just picking off absolutely everything. We do have a lot of Lings on the way. This third base, 100% going to go down. Can Curious hold on to his natural, though? I don't even think he can do that, to be honest.
Force fields that are remaining are getting a little bit lower number. Now, he doesn't want to get spread too thin here.
Yeah, and he might lose his Mothership Core here. Yeah, it looks like the Queen gets it. some missed micro there as he was managing his army.
I think he has to go up to the third base now. I don't think he wants to push.
Yeah.
Is he going to do this? Okay.
Well, he wants
you
to
know
go
what?
for a
Force
straight
field on
kill.
ramp. He wants to do force field on ramp here.
Oh, okay.
He's loading up on the force field count. He's going to use those remaining ones pretty sparsely here.
Yeah, and you know, I think he looked at this situation and said, I can't actually win a macro game here. This is, you know, he's sitting here on 5 gates for so long, no upgrades, so he needs to end it. This is the most likely point to end this game.
Look at this game of tug of war that's being won on both sides here for SOS.
Yeah. SOS is the knot in the middle of the rope.
Yeah, he is.
No one ever thought that would win the tug of war.
No kidding. And look, he's just gunning down slowly but surely any remaining units here. Even if you stray Overlord's getting caught in the fray. Still, it's not an optimal position, although I don't know if that really matters. Look, he's even doing a good job microing the Zealots back when they're starting to get a little bit bruised. And we've had a few meaningless force fields here that didn't do anything, so it's just one, but I mean, so far so good. Is he going to go up the ramp? No,
I don't think so. I think you just sit here and finish. You just keep targeting units. Warps in a few more sentries, brings them down. But that is, like, just about it. Curious just really doesn't have anything left here.
GG. SOS plays by his own terms.
No, well, when you get the balls on a 4-player map to send out 2 probes, if Curious was bottom left, how different does this game look?
It's funny because every game we cast of SOS, there is always that risk factor. Like, well, you know, if he does a build like that and the guy's in the wrong spawn, he loses. But for some reason, SOS never gets the bad spawns.
Yeah, well.
And that's why I'm convinced SOS is a hacker, guys.
You know, the funny thing is, like, every game you remember from SOS is, like, so fantastic and so dribbling between the legs and dunking with your eyes closed that it seems that way. But then I think back, like, really hard, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that game where you tried to go sky toss and the guy just killed him with some hydras.
Yeah.
And, oh, yeah, I remember that game where, like, the proxy gate was found and he just died. Like, those games definitely happen. It's just, he's so flashy when he wins that you don't even remember his losses.
Now, here's something cool, Artos. This game number 2 is going to be on Bonnie Research Station. Definitely a map SOS could do some crazy stuff on.
Yeah, that's definitely one that I would be fearful of playing him on.
Curious is so salty right now. Don Juan Pond, the saltiest body of water in the world. That's the kind of salt that Curious is feeling right now.
Well, we'll see if he can lower that to Dead Sea levels. Or maybe he'll become a dead nerd.
Could be. Dead nerds float, Artosis. So do people in bodies of water that are high in salt concentration.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Is there a difference? That's the question.
No, not really.
No, there's not. No. Glad we solved that riddle we made for ourselves. So, we're going to go into game number 2 now. It's loading up. Bonnie Research Station is the map. Curious against SOS. How will SOS play? And can Curious keep his cool here, considering what a frustrating loss game number 1 truly was for him? I'm Tasteless, with me is Artosis. This is the best, longest standing, esports show in English of all time. The GSL Code S. What? What'd you say?
A lot of qualifiers there.
Yeah, a lot of qualifiers. But after you say it, it feels pretty good. In the top, in the red, he is
SBENU Curious.
The thing is, I think we can just lie, be like, the longest standing show on television. People are like, what about The Simpsons? I'm like, no, this has been on longer.
This has been on for 50 years. This show was a lot harder to do before StarCraft was invented.
Yeah.
In the bottom center.
GNair Green Wings SOS.
Before we were born and stuff.
Yeah.
Taste and I have actually always existed.
It's not true. It's a big twist at the end of the show when this thing's GSL finally ends. You find out that we've been clones. They kill us at the end of every year. It's really scary.
Yeah.
There's actually a bunch of giant test tubes of green vial and Tastos' mutant fetuses floating in there.
Well, those are tasteless ones. Tasteless is actually a mutant clone. I'm actually just a robot that they powered
Oh, yeah, right. You grow out of weird plant pods, you vegetarian. We already know how you become. They go, it's time! And then this little plant pot opens and little baby Artosis comes out going, yeah! They get a handful of peanuts and feed it to him and go, yes, my little one, you will cast one day.
That's cute. Ooh, I like it.
All right.
Curious deciding to fight fire with fire.
By the way, guys, you can always make signs in the audience. We have all the materials at the front desk.
That's right. Well, I don't believe we have any glitter up there, so if you need glitter on your side, you're going to have to bring that yourself.
You're going to have to bring your own magazine clippings to put on the signs as well if you need to.
No, we have a box of magazine clippings up there. Thing is, someone used up all the eyes on all the pictures. It was really weird.
Yeah, man.
They cut out all the eyes.
That was me, man.
Yeah.
I know you haven't been to my apartment.
Well, you took all the eyeballs, but then I was like, oh my god, magazine people without eyes. That's exactly what I wanted. That's why we go so well together.
Well, that's why I was excited to show you my apartment. If you come over, it's nothing but pictures of women on the wall of my apartments with the eyes cut out. It's all my ex-girlfriends. I'm actually crazy. Now we have...
It's got 2 pictures on the wall.
I was a lonely guy throughout most of my life. Well, you can see, by the way, SOS is actually checking everywhere for possible gold bases.
Yeah, he realizes that there is something going on. Looks like this will be the last place he's going to check into.
My haunted house place where you come over and see that I'm a serial killer. You come over and it's got nothing but the heads of baby dolls and stuff over there.
Really creepy
You
stuff.
scream on my apartment floor, but here's the thing, Artosis. I rented out all the floors on that building. I'm crazy.
Don't know where you got all that money.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, Tasteless.
Yeah, what's up?
How do you play this as SOS? Because he's taking this gold base. There's 2 golds you can take.
You know, I think
this one screams that he's going to all in you. So do you play defensive here? Because if you play defensive, he has the gold base. You gonna play defensive against a gold base?
Well, I think it's a tough one. I guess you could play defensive and go for Oracle or something and try to hit the main, but I don't really know what the best way to do this is, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I don't like when people go Oracle. The only time I like the Oracle is when Terminator did it on Overgrowth, but that was because of the weird way that the gold base was, and you could hit up with Stalkers. Here, it's like easier for Zerg to defend against hitting behind the minerals.
You know, frankly, I don't really see a reason why Zerg shouldn't do some variation of this strategy.
Oh, I think that Zerg should always take gold bases.
They should just always take the gold base.
Yeah. Against Protoss.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like he probably will go with the Oracle play that you were suggesting, so we'll see what he can get done with that. But that's something that Curious very well could be expecting. Very, very easily could block that. If he makes a couple spores, suddenly it's like, huh, this is tough. Very quick layer here. This is an interesting take on this type of build by Curious. A lot of times we do see people take a 3rd base and just go like Roachling for a bit. Make sure they have enough units against anything that can come. But here, looks like he wants to tech a lot quicker. SOS,
well,
of course, safe for now.
This is especially cool because it is SOS, so I'm interested in seeing how does he respond to this. Also, this is not what an SOS game normally looks like. Normally, SOS did the weird strategy first, and now it's up to the other guy to respond. So let's see how SOS plays when he's against his own game.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Sometimes it's smart to do something very aggressive or unexpected against a very aggressive or unexpecting player, rather. Well, he is going straight to Spire. I love that Curious is going to Spire, by the way. I think that only really Leenock ever does this with a gold base, generally speaking. And it's like kind of throws off your understanding of how to play against a gold base as well. So, because people almost always go like a bunch of Roaches Lings because of the mineral boost. Like he doesn't have particularly a lot of gas to go with this strat. Wow, this is a great Oracle.
Kills this 6 kills? Wow.
Yeah. Fantastic Oracle.
This is kind of funny though. You're right. Going for, I guess, what would be Ling Muta here? Am I correct in this?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, are you serious? Is this going to be spotted?
That's a good spot right
way.
there. That is so important. I don't really know how this is going to go now. Look at this. He's actually making a 2nd Stargate and a Twilight. I feel like I'm watching Liquid Hero like 4 months ago or something.
Yeah.
It's very interesting what he's going for. Another gold base being taken by Curious. Ooh, I'm loving this game right now, Tasteless. This is like hard to even guess what these guys are going to do.
This game has already gotten beyond weird. Let's see what happens.
This game is Addams Family weird.
I don't know what's funnier to you. What's funny is the fact that you said that joke or that you laughed so hard at it. I was so tickled by it. I love it. 6 Mutas coming out now. Map control is going to Zerg. We just see a little bit of poking here. But these are zealots, right, in the middle of the map. I'm not crazy, right?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, those are zealots.
Well, guess what? They've been spotted.
That's right. Well, the Mutmut's going to come by and help to clean this up. Plenty of lings to surround these zealots as well. It's
okay. Well, I gotta say, I think if the Spire wasn't spotted immediately, I think Curious' strategy just wins.
Yeah,
you get enough mutas. I mean, you could be up to like
if you go
4 bases, 5 bases pretty quickly.
Generally speaking, if you go gold base muta, like it's so rare and it's so weird because it doesn't play off of what the gold base is good at all. So people generally, they generally don't have anything really good against it because you need 3 bases against muta, but you can't take 3 bases against gold base guy going roach right away. You have to take it slower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a really tricky type of mind game scenario.
Dude, he's got to be careful. He's going to get boxed in with these mutas. These might all just die here.
They are.
Anybody who's played Zerg has done this before. You're like, why did I send those there?
I would say that it's actually okay that he lost those even. He killed 9 probes and forced a bunch of phoenixes, which still can be somewhat useful, of course. But that's a lot of phoenixes to force on 2 bases. And he is going for like mass Hydra at this point. And Hydra Roach, that's like the type of unit comp that's good off of a gold base. So I don't know. It's just such a different game though that I'm excited to see how this goes.
Well, the Hydra switch was definitely a necessary one, and this really neutralizes the effectiveness of Phoenixes in a straight-up fight. But, Hydras are also not mobile when you don't have all your bases connected by creep.
That's true, that's true. You gotta get that speed upgrade ASAP. That is what he's going for, so smart move. By the way, good StarCraft theme for this game.
Good, I'm sorry, what?
Listen to the music.
Yeah, this is the right song.
This is the right one for this game.
It.
It's kind of like a little bit mysterious and creepy.
Yeah, a little bit chaotic, like gold
What's
base,
going on
gold
here?
base. Phoenixes, gold base. Yeah, this does it, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, you gotta keep in mind, the SOS structurally in his base, he looks fine, okay? He can defend this, assuming that he can handle the onslaught of units from the Zerg. As this game goes on, first of all, SOS, if he does get a good push from out here, he will get that gold base and we'll get the second gold base. So, really Curious can't lose the position that he has.
Yeah.
And he can't overextend here.
Well, I would say because he's going Roach Hydra, in very shortly here, like SOS is moving out at this second, he's going to have to go back very soon. I think he's just poking to kill some tumors. But he needs splash damage against this. He's chosen to go Colossus, which against sustained Hydra Roach is the right choice. But we just saw Curious go into Infestation Pit. So if he goes straight to Vipers from here, like I feel like his unit composition is going to end up winning out there. It's going to be very hard for... I mean, SOS can try to squeeze into High Templars, but...
Dude, I think SOS just dies here. That is so many Hydras.
This is scary. He does have some extra cannons. He's making even more.
Creep is pretty well spread.
Yeah, he's pretending to be brave right now. Try to keep him back.
Now, he does have one Colossus out here. But Thermal Lance is not quite done, and I think Zerg's going to hit coincidentally right before that. Or maybe not, excuse me. It looks like he's backing up. But he's going to need more Colossi out here. There's 13 more Roaches coming up here. I believe he would even need just a better wall up here.
Well, does use that Nexus Cannon for the time being. All right, Curious starting to come in a little bit more here. He's got to be careful here. Thermal Lance is almost done, hitting right before it is, so that's a bit scary.
Now, the Nexus will 100% go down.
Yeah, if he targets it down 2 seconds. And he does end up killing that off.
2 Colossi out. Thermal Lance is done.
Now we have to see what SOS thinks his best chance is. Is it to try to counterattack because he got a bunch of free units? Because I don't think that'll work. I really doubt that he can walk on a creep and kill him.
How many more force fields does he have here?
Not many.
Not many? Okay.
And we have a Viper on the way. That's like the scariest thing that he could see.
He might actually just have to try to counterattack. I don't think it would work, but I don't think he can just remake the third base here.
I mean, think there's... With that much creep spread, you can't counterattack. Like, where would you First off, where would you take the fight that you might be able to win it?
Well, you do it at this base here, but even then, look, the gold base is almost mined out too, which is very sad. Then again, hey, the gold base is almost mined out. Maybe if you last that long, you don't get the power from that gold base.
Yes, that's a good point. Waiting out gold bases is a way to try to deal with them. Let him burn out the gold base.
Now, Zerg's almost drained everything from there, and he's about to be maxed out. So it would only be natural that Zerg would try to do a killing blow coming up here.
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense. By the way, the Psystorm ad, I love it here, because I think SOS has realized that the way to win this game is by being unfathomably cost efficient. Just like Zerg pounds his head on the table, you're so cost efficient. That type of cost efficient. Like, almost as cost efficient as mech cost efficient. Which, of course, as far as unit comps goes,
Apollo said that, I believe.
I believe so.
We have... Well, I think we have the beginning in here. Whoa, don't do that!
He wanted that so bad. This is going to hurt Tasteless. Look at that green cloud. That green cloud is a giant middle finger to SOS. Oh, man. Oh, my God. And there's another green cloud. Yeah, Psystorm, but that is quite an arc. Great Psystorms, I have to say.
Wow, I actually got to say, those Colossi are not dead.
I don't know how they live.
What the hell?
It's pretty shocking that they're alive.
Whoa, slow down, they're 300.
Seriously. But the thing is, Curious truly is Xerxes here, and he
probably will win. Yeah.
Well, when that gold base goes down, things do change a little bit. He has taken a blue base, but he's going to be on like 3-base economy coming up. And when it's 3-base economy versus 3-base economy, even if you lost the Nexus, like, you still have a chance, especially considering this is an early 3-base versus early 3-base. Like, he's already got good upgrades. He's got Psystorm. He still has his 3 Colossus some way, somehow.
Well, I'm going to just stop calling fights because I can't believe that last one didn't actually end the game here.
Well, Curious kind of can't either. That was like, he was like, okay, you're dead, get out, and then SOS like, boop. Force fields.
Now, the force fields here in this little area are going to be quite strong. I think the question, though, is can the Colossi stay alive? Good God, they're all still alive. Look at this.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Protoss has mined out his backyard base, right?
Let me check exactly what the minerals like. He still has at least a little tiny bit. Yeah.
Oh, he has a decent amount, actually.
He's way over halfway through, but...
Oh, my God! SOS! I don't even know what to say. He is so good. I mean, this is ridiculous. This looks like it's 2 players with very different skill levels in the ladder, but the red player got a huge build order advantage but can't finish it.
This is where you gotta... The camera has to pan to him, and he's got sunglasses on and a diamond ring on every finger.
For sure. And, I mean, he didn't buy that stuff at Claire's, guys. That was SOS, and he pretty much is baller.
Just crazy.
Curious is going to go in for... And we've lost number how many attacks. This is really big, man. This is crazy that this game is going on. And, he eventually... Because the Colossi number is growing. He's eventually... Well, I guess, no, it's not. It's still 3. I thought there would be more there by now. He's actually stopped. Excuse me. He was making Immortals.
Yeah, I think he prefers the High Templars because they are unaffected by... They're like the counter to Vipers, basically.
Yeah. We also have some Corruptors coming out here, which is going to make the Colossi much less effective here.
But look at this. He's making Immortals now. He's getting charged. So he's like getting ready to deal with everything.
Yeah, he's already teching through this.
I think he realizes that... Curious realizes that these Colossi are a problem. So I think he's assuming the Colossi are going to go away, but Psystorm deals with Hydras, and Charge plus Immortal cleans up everything else.
Do me a quick favor, bro. Will you check the gold base here? The other one?
Don't call me bro.
You're not my bro.
Yeah, it's
almost mined out there.
It's got some very low
This
patches.
game is going, assuming that the next SOS survives the next attack. This game can normalize, guys.
I think he actually, if he wins the next attack, he wins. Like, these 7 Broodlords are very, very important. If he can deal with those efficiently, I don't see Curious to be able to do very much because he's going to be on 1-base economy very soon. Like, the gold bases are both about to mine out.
Is there any merit to SOS going around this Broodlord army?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you ever want to touch Broodlords face on. Like,
so, I mean, maybe he once again sacks the 3rd base in the hopes of getting Zerg out of position, because these bases are not all connected by creep. These are little islands, which means queens can't come in and accompany the Brood Lords as easily.
Yeah.
But, I mean, let's see what happens.
He doesn't want to hit it all together. It's a very scary thing. He might be able to cut through because he has so many Psy Storms.
Ugh. Well,
those are all the important units that are highlighted right now.
By the way, SOS nearly maxed out. He does have an observer rig. Oh, he's going around. No, he's not.
He's got to be careful here,
Never
though,
mind
too.
what I'm saying here.
All right, going to blink forward, see if he can do it. Some nice blinding clouds do go down. Great Psy Storms landing on these Hydras at the moment. He's got to make sure, though, these Immortals are hitting the right things there. Oh,
Needs
God.
some Psy Storm a little bit more here. He's actually got plenty more Psy Storms.
Oh, does yank those Colossus in finally. Is it too little, too late, though?
I think he, well, hold on. That's actually more Roaches than I was sure about there. Again, this is, I would say Protoss simply came out on the losing end there.
GG.
Yep, there's no way that he can win after that fight.
That was a super weird and awesome
Can we just
game.
point out how incredibly close that was?
Yeah.
I know that Curious had the gold base for a long time, but had Protoss survived that last attack, that game would have gone on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like if he had... I think you were right about moving around, but at the same time, if he loses the third, he basically just loses because he's not mining his main or nat. Like, he needed to keep that third base alive, so I think that's why he took the front-on engagement, but obviously Broodlord's a very slow unit to chase you around that map. But that was a really cool one. I really enjoyed that game. I love that Curious tried to go for mutas off a goal. Very interesting one.
I'm wondering if Curious is still a bit shaken from that last game. Both these games have been pretty crazy from SOS. I love that Oracle diving in at the base at the upper left, killing off 15 drones.
It's pretty crazy.
I mean, he's just really on top of everything he's doing, you know?
Yeah. Well, all right. Third map going to be Overgrowth, the most standard map that we have. In many ways, the most defensible map. So that's something that could work out well for Curious here.
Man, we're going to be jumping right into that. I don't feel SOS too frustrated by that last game, but props to Curious for doing the really cool strategy there.
Yeah, double gold backs.
And he went there. Yeah, for
everything about his strat was so different. So great to see. The fact that you're taking that gold base and going mutas, I'm like, wow. Hats off to you here. This is like mind games stacked on mind games.
Do you think that the gold bases are one of the reasons why we've had Zerg doing pretty well lately?
I think against Protoss we've seen more successful gold-based strategies.
Okay.
But overall right now, I think ZvP is kind of a tough matchup because of the change of Swarmos. Everything has to change for Zerg. So that's kind of tough, whereas Protoss is like, oh, there's one less thing to worry about. Sick.
Yeah, that's true. All right, our game is loading up. Artosis, who wins?
Overgrowth? I'm still slightly leaning towards Curious, like I said before. I think that he has a slight edge here.
All right, I'm going to go with SOS on this one. Let's see what happens. The winner goes on to face off against Saxery in the winner's match of this final group here in the GSL Code S. Bottom left, red, he is
SBENU Curious.
in the upper right, in the blue.
GNR Green Wings SOS.
Artie Mictosis.
It's me.
What's up, man?
Oh, not much, Tasis Mictosis. What's up with you?
My name is not Tasis Mictosis.
Yes, it is.
My name is Based Taste.
No, we're...
That's what they call me.
Is that what they call you?
Based Taste.
You just don't even care
That's
at all.
right, bitches. It's me, Based Taste, bitches.
The dankest caster there is.
Yeah, man. Ask me anything about dank memes and anime, guys. I'm Based Taste.
Well,
all right, we
maybe
got
the
support
dank
here
memes
from
part,
Joe. Joe's a strange egg. I don't know if Joe's going to take that. Joe watching right now is like, I am not a strange egg.
That's when we find out he's what was the name of that cartoon where they were all on the farm and there was an egg that just had legs coming out of it? And there was like a talking pig and stuff like that. Like,
wait, this is a Looney Tune?
no, this was long. This was just a cartoon. Like, one of the characters was an egg that had 2 legs coming out. This just popped in my brain.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't remember this?
Wasn't that on Looney Tunes though? Wasn't that with
And like he had a brother. No, he had a brother that was a fully hatched chick, but he wasn't fully hatched.
It's Tiny Toons?
No, it's not. You've asked that 3 times. It's not.
No,
what
when
it
I
was.
said Looney Tunes, Tiny Toons is different.
I'm like, okay, yeah.
It's totally different.
Okay.
Now I know that you know nothing about dank memes, anime, and normal, early day animation,
Okay.
Western animation. So he faked the cannon rush here, which is pretty sneaky. Because that forced a lot of drones to be pulled.
The funny thing, like, Curious reacts very strongly because he's like, oh god, it's literally the best cannon rusher in the entire world. I better react strongly to this. Thing is, I think that if SOS had decided to cannon rush you, you're dying anyways to it. Like, if he had decided that this is going to occur, it's going to occur and you're losing the hatch. It's kind of a defeatist mindset, but it's like,
It's kind of shocking how many times he has made the cannon rushes work perfectly.
It's like, oh, you want pool first? No problem. Just as easy as ever.
Well, we have Nexus going down now. 2 Lings headed northbound. Think we're going to see a Stargate here from SOS? Or do we see some kind of gateway timing attack? Curious is going to take his 3rd base, by the way, right now.
It's SOS, so I would be silly to try to guess what he's going to do strategically. Like, I could absolutely give a little dialogue about what a normal Protoss would do, but this guy, like, literally the reason why he's so good is because he mixes in so much weird different stuff. So, really hard to say. I wouldn't be surprised by anything. But now, if he took the Zerg's gold, I would be surprised by that. Everything else, though, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Well, no.
Robo
facility. Okay, so this is very, very orthodox. We'll see.
I think it's probably going to be an immortal push here.
Yeah,
It could be something like Warp Prism based, some harassment with that and whatnot. Like a big Warp Gate all in with that, but it's feeling like it might be an immortal all in. Robo's kind of further away than you would like, but he doesn't actually have a pylon in place to build anywhere else.
He definitely doesn't want that to be seen.
Yeah,
judging
exactly.
from where it's put. And, when you do the immortal push, it's not really about the Robo being well placed and getting there quickly. I suppose you theoretically could do something like that, but really it's just about surprising them. Well, this is going to be a pretty decent surround here. Definitely a good little win there for Zerg as the Mothership core is driven out. And we have a Warp Prism. Okay.
Yeah. I think the Prism may have the follow-up of
Immortals?
an Immortal push. That's like pretty common overall. Because he isn't really making enough gates here for this to be a dedicated Warp Prism build. Like, Warp Prism into 3rd base isn't... That's like very super rare. I'd be quite surprised to see him do something like that. Okay, Immortal gets started, so does look like that's the case.
He's loaded up, I believe that was 2 Zealots over there. Was that 2 Zealots? Was that
I
2
believe
sentries?
it was Sentries, I believe.
I guess it would make more sense, right?
Yeah,
there's
there's sentries.
anywhere else. Overlord spotted it, though.
More gates on the way. He's making some Lings here. Roach Warren coming up. Very, very important for him to get that going. Do have a warping around here.
Okay, so he's actually going to try to hit from a few different places, it looks like. The Zealot's headed now towards the 3rd base. Warp Prism still full. Roach Warren about halfway complete.
Might get like a little Queen snipe here with the force fields. Oh! No, not quite. It's good micro so far.
Not totally sure what this is doing exactly yet. He's going to unload these 2 sentries. Might want to do another warping round here.
Yeah, a lot of people might look at this and be like, oh, that didn't really do that much. But what it did was interrupt the drone. The droning.
Which is very important because these Lings aren't useful once this Warp Prism rush ends. So you want to get the drones out before the Lings, and that's why even if you force them to make attacking units,
even if this gives away your strat, like the fact that he had to make all these units before the drones, like even if he makes the drones right after, that gives you a bigger edge in the push. Because he could have figured that out without seeing the Warp Prism as well. So you just kind of count on him being smart and saying, okay, this is the way to most hurt him if I'm doing this push.
Oh, this is some
wow.
nastiness, Sartosis.
Yeah, that's
I don't know if this was the end game here, but this is pretty wise.
It's a nice thing that can happen.
We saw this used a lot in the early days of StarCraft II, and it's certainly still in style here.
Yeah, it's not going to end it, but I mean, this is a nice move. Gets the queen at least. The Zealots don't do as much as he was hoping. But
And he's gearing up to do another push. What's that up there? Is
Zerglings.
that- Okay. So he's going to get chased away there. Could he even intercept these sentries?
Luckily, SOS keeps him in a very smart place so that he can utilize minimal force fields to keep him alive.
Now, notice, guys, he's walled off his main here. So he might have 1 or 2 Stalkers warped in there, but that's going to be it. Everything's about this attack. So SOS is assuming he's going to win this in about the next 3 minutes.
Well,
And it's really going to be up to Curious to try to hold this. 99 supply to nearly 140 there for Curious. Curious does have a pretty intimidating number of units here. Whoa!
certainly does. Well, look, that is a big flank there with those links. Very nicely done. He's actually going to pick off way more units than SOS had planned here.
Actually, I got to say, he did get a good number of Stalkers, but, you know, he wasn't bad with those force fields considering.
Yeah.
Now, he still has a time warp over here as well.
This is going to have to be probably a pretty prolonged push, I would say. Curious being careful with these units, but he doesn't actually have speed yet. And I love this move by SOS to try really hard to catch these. He's ready for a long push if need be. In fact, just added a forge at home, which can really kind of tell you where his head's at. He's like, okay, I might need to, there's a possibility of a transition here.
He's actually going to try to just box us in and kill it. And I think he just gets all this, right?
Yeah.
Jackpot.
And that's like a lot. You know, if you remember back to when Immortal Push was the best build order, the best strategy overall in Protoss vs. Zerg,
Yep,
a lot of
Party
times it was
everything.
super prolonged. And yeah,
Yeah.
like catching a group of units like this is a valid way to try to execute it.
+1 has started. He's also going to get Twilight Council here with this. And just a few more probes, but I believe, yeah, the push should continue onward. Now, notice that Warp Prism. He can warp in some sentries, and I think that's what he's doing right now. Am I wrong about this?
I think he wants some Zealots, just
Okay.
for like harassment. He's trying to get him to split units so he can pick off pieces of the army.
Oh my God, they're going to go. This could be a base trade.
Yeah, it definitely could be. That would be really scary. I think he actually has to warp home against this.
I would assume so, right?
I think so.
Whoa, this is so bad. He needs to get a force field on his ramp.
Yeah, in fact, he's not warping home right now. He's just trying to walk home. But another set of units here from Curious coming up, catching a lot of them.
Actually.
And now he gets to kill off a decent chunk of the army at least.
What's the story with the Zealots back at home? Did he actually hold all that off?
Yeah.
Okay, but I think the War Prism's going in for round number 3 now.
Yeah, it is. Well, he kills off a decent amount of units here, but this was good for Curious.
Yeah, well, Curious just wants this game to go on for as long as possible because he should win.
Yeah. And, you know what, he picked off a lot of expensive sentries there as well, let's not forget. Definitely a big part of it. Still, the Zealot Warpins trying to get some work done.
A lot of finesse here with SOS, but Curious just seems to be the guy who's in this for the long run. And we have a Dark Shrine, which is normally a sign of desperation. If you're on 2 bases and the game's gone on for this long, we're getting close to 15 minutes, man.
It's smart in a way, though, too. You know, if he just, like, warps 3 in and targets down, you know, a Spore. In fact, there's no Spore in the main. So the Warp Prism might be able to get a lot of work done with that as well.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
It's not something that you expect either because the gas output needs to be into sentries and stuff if you really want to win this as SOS. So you don't really expect something like DTs.
You know, he could even drop DTs into the main and just kill the drones and then kill the layer.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Take out the beating heart of the Zerg base. You like how I put that? I was pretty poetic there.
Yeah,
the beating heart.
Indeed.
That's what you get when you cast 4 years of StarCraft II, guys. These things just come to you.
It's amazing. People are going to write books about you one day.
They're definitely going to be building statues about me long after I'm dead.
No doubt.
So we got to cancel there on the
Your statue will be the first that gets head knocked off.
So right now the War Prism's getting driven out. SOS really just running out of time here. A lot of people might even say that this game is already over. If you look at the supplies.
Yeah, I wouldn't say something like that at this point, just because it is still Roach Tech and he has a bunch of immortals, so it's like still SOS's composition is very cost efficient. We don't have a 4th base mining yet here from Curious. He just started it, and he's just now getting into some higher tech like Hydras in the Infestation Pit. So I think SOS still definitely has a chance. You know, he's going to have +2 soon. He already has Blink. He does have that Dark Templar tech, so his harassment is still something to be feared.
A double-pronged attack here, and it looks like actually SOS knocks both of these back. Oh my god, now the Dark Shrine. Don't forget about the Dark Shrine, guys.
Yeah, he might warp something in.
Is he going to warp this in out of view, though? That would be the sneakiest. I guess there is no out of view here, though, in the main.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it for now, but, you know, those DTs at some point, here they come, Tasteless. 4 DTs being warped in. 6 DTs being warped in. Holy crap.
Oh my god.
This is a game-winning move or a game-losing move right here.
This is so cool. He's going to go for the hatch.
Oh, man.
Oh my god. This is so good.
This is brutal. Okay, he does have an Overseer in that main base.
Yeah, but not where he needs it right now. Okay, he's going to save that hatch.
Remember how I was saying this is a game-winning or game-losing move?
I think it's game-losing, my friend, but it was still cool. Style
was
point
cool.
still.
He tried.
Yeah.
Oh boy, did he try, Tasteless. And that's really what matters. Well, yeah.
Well, actually, that
not
unfortunately, in a competition like GSL, this is not one where everybody gets a trophy. So I think this, you know, I got to say, I love the way that SOS approached this. I think for the strategies he did choose, he executed them about as well, but really Curious went with the better plays that allowed him to win. Doesn't matter how good and scary you are at doing something if it just does not work at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think that in this game specifically, the counterattack by Curious that SOS was late at warping home against, and he lost a bunch of sentries during that. I think that that was a huge, huge issue. Because still, you look at this army, and if he had a whole bunch more sentries, how much better would this look?
Look a lot better.
I mean, he would have more units than he has now even, so definitely some issues with that. But SOS still fighting. He still has 3 bases. We can't completely cat him out yet.
Yeah, I mean, he could end up catching up to Zerg and maxing out. I think this is a map where it's easier to hold off a maxed out Zerg than the previous map, so let's see.
You know what I think we're going to see, by the way? He's making a single Colossus with no Thermal Lance, and he's getting Psystorm. This is like really old. It's like there used to be strategies against Terran where you'd make 1 Colossus, and that would trigger them to make Vikings, and then you had Psystorm. And you're like, ha, I win now.
Yeah.
That was easy. And it existed against Zerg as well, but it's like very rare.
Yeah.
But
well, I guess this is, you know, we've gotten down to Plan E now.
Yeah. It's something that, I mean, it's definitely putting a Colossus in there can throw them off a little bit.
And they make too many Corruptors.
Yeah.
Well, he can't really make Corruptors right now because he's maxed out, but let's see how this next attack goes here. And if SOS can actually hold it. Okay, not terrible force fields. Isolating some of those roaches off.
He's taking really good spots on the map. You can see every place that he's going. It's like, it's really a thin area. His force fields get a lot of value.
Ooh, burrowed roaches. Dun, dun.
Well, actually, it was the Jaws theme I was trying to do.
I know.
Oh, okay. But we never had that. Well, he does have a lot of cannons over at his 3rd, so even though we should see a cancel here, 3rd base pretty safe still.
I was going to say maybe you can come up here and isolate that army and pick it off, but then I see this army over here is already busy. Again, though, SOS is getting close to maxing out, which is pretty crazy. And in fact, he is going to get all these roaches over here with that time warp there and Psystorm readily available.
Yeah, almost has that charge upgrade. A good usage of these roaches by Curious, just getting more and more value here. SOS is low on minerals. This is not like a later game where he's had a bigger economy for a longer time where the Zealots don't really matter that much.
Yeah.
Like, even getting charge here just shows us how many High Templars and how many Colossi and stuff like that he wants to purchase. Because these are not the most cost-efficient unit against Zerg. They're kind of like what you get when you're spending all your gas on non-stalker units.
Well, I appreciate Curious for his patience here. And I do appreciate SOS for his tenacity, really. I mean, this is... I gotta say, it's probably gonna be our longest series here today.
Yeah,
started out
most
weird
likely.
and, yeah, it ended up, you know, drawn out and crazy.
Very excellent games, though.
Yeah, you know, definitely, you know, one of the most fun PvZs you could really ask for is these two guys facing off against each other. Now, maybe SOS can come and pin this army.
Yeah, this army is going into a kind of peculiar position back here.
He could even storm this if it tries to go out that little hallway down there in the far left.
Yeah, the green clouds, though, could be an issue.
Well, he's trying to get maybe a feedback here, okay, or some storms.
Well, those are good storms.
Yeah, and these are a lot of Hydras, guys. These are not cheap.
Oh my God, those storms.
Now, he can even micro back that Colossus. How funny is that? Okay. Okay, SOS.
Well,
I don't even know, guys.
Can't be too happy about that. I mean, he's the one that decided to move across the map with that entire army like that.
That wasn't so much SOS's brilliance as Curious painting himself into a corner.
Yeah, canceling that fourth base, was that important with the type of tech he had?
I don't think so.
Because he had a strong ground army, he had some Vipers, and he was teching to Broodlords, which become, like, the Broodlords kind of fill in your composition against something like, you know how bad Charge Zealots are against this? Do you know how bad Psy Storms are against these?
Now, he did manage to nearly remax here before the battle started, but the question is he doesn't have his army grouped up. It's actually Protoss can pick the fight here. But it's going to be another tug-of-war game, similar to what we saw in Game 1, only with a much more dramatic endgame.
Looks like this is really going towards SOS, rather. It's not over yet. He still has these Broodlords to help out a lot. Still has a strong ground army.
He wasn't able to use that blink to get under the Broodlords there, since the Broodlords are really what he has that are going for him right now. Whoa, nice storm.
Yeah, those were some beautiful storms going down. Looks like he's out of High Templars in his main army, though, so has to back up. Didn't kill as many units as he was looking for right there.
Checking out Artosis. He's taking the fourth base.
Oh, boy.
At the gold. This is great. And he's also going around taking out all these creep tumors. Now, Curious is maxed out. By the way, there are DTs being remade here. It's not totally clear to us right now where the rest of the Overseers are. Usually when Broodlords come into play, you tend to see a lot of Overseers over the Broodlord army, which means occasionally DTs can come in there and start picking up expansions again, assuming there are no Spore Crawlers there.
Yeah, that's I think he threw up some Spores. Let me just check real quick.
Even then, you can kill that with DTs.
Yeah, if they're not looking and there's no units there, that's pretty quick. But well, he has an Overseer at the third. He has the Spore and a bunch of Spines at the fourth. So I don't know if the DTs will be impactful. Again, if they are, I think it'll be like extreme late game where both of them are very low on everything, which we could hit something like that possibly.
Now, it's much harder for Zerg to push forward and take his gold base than it is now for SOS to defend this one. If Zerg does push forward here, Protoss has the option to go around and attack the bases on the bottom right. If Zerg does attack the gold base, by the way, he should be pushing from the lower ground with the Broodlords to eat through the probes.
Yeah,
there's not a lot that Protoss can do against that.
Definitely agree with
really
you
at all. Even if you blink down with Stalkers underneath the Broodlords, then everything dies to the Roaches.
Yeah, that's... So I think you're right. He has to look for something kind of like that. Right now, he's just building a really good composition, like lots of Broodlords involved in it. I wonder if he'll keep a bunch of Corruptors as well to try to target down Colossi, because like Broodlords counter the Zealots and the Immortals and the High Templars pretty well, but the Colossi shred through the Broodlings really, really quickly. So that's like, he may want to keep some sort of ratio alive there.
Well, I think the first attack is going to come from Zerg here. No. I think I might have to eat my words there. He's actually going to expand over here to the gold base. So, well, gosh, this has become actually a pretty interesting end game here.
Yeah, this type of play, this type of game that we're watching here, well, it got here in a really weird way. But overall, as far as like late game in this matchup goes, I think that this is something that we could see more of in the future, because normally, like Supreme late game as Zerg on a map like this, you'd end up going Swarm Host. Swarm Host, of course, not the same unit that they used to be. Broodlord is kind of the the cost-efficient, younger brother to that or something. It's something that can be ridiculously cost-efficient and can be a very good long-game unit. And he's trying to get into a composition that's really scary right now.
Now, with Broodlords, you can abuse the lack of mobility. That's what we saw just there with the Stalkers. They could zip in and zip back out.
Yeah. And also, don't forget, the Tempest was nerfed a bit against these.
Is he going to do this for real?
Cool. I don't think so, right?
Yeah, don't do that for sure.
Yeah. This is...
Look how many Broodlings that is. Oh, cool. Okay, so he's going to take the Zealots, which are just not useful if Broodlings are in the game.
Yeah.
Zealots are useless and engaging him head on. So he's going to take that and send that over here into the main. And he's
really
going to be doing a lot of damage over here. But Curious is actually headed, he's making a beeline right over here to the gold base. And I don't think SOS can defend this.
It's a tough one, but I guess it's a little bit more open than attacking uphill. Okay, he's going to give it up. He is...
free units!
They aren't as free as Locust, at least.
No. They're pretty free, though.
They're reasonably free.
Look at that.
Still costs 0,
SOS, yeah, 0 is pretty close to free. SOS is actually going to go around, and we're in a base trade, boys. Boys and grills.
Like you can stay ahead of the Broodlords. Thing is, Zerg can split off pieces of his army to go kill stuff.
Look at this.
Oh my god. Oh boy. Oh boy.
They can't even get over there to storm in time.
How many high tumblers is he going to lose? Like
he got
4?
About 4? I think it was 4.
Yeah, I believe so. That's a huge deal. Of course,
my God, how fast did that die? No, you got to move him!
Oh boy. This is scary stuff. He can't really fight against this right now.
He doesn't have a Mothership Core to recall anymore either.
No, you're right.
Does he just not have one of those?
He has one. There it is.
Curious one. Well done. Great series.
Wow.
That was a real treat to cast.
All right. Well, Curious goes that winner match. Which means we will have another Zerg going through to that round of 16, which is great to hear. Great to see. But that means that SOS and MMA cannot advance together, guys. That's a pretty big deal.
This is crazy. So the losers match is going to be SOS against MMA. What?
Yeah. No, well, that's a sick match. I'm just happy we get to see it. Because if SOS wins here, maybe beats Saxter, and we don't get to see that match.
Well, I got to say, by the way, that was a draining game for both those players.
Certainly.
I'm curious.
That was a tough series overall. Like mentally challenging. Yeah. There was a lot of weird scenarios you don't see often.
Complex strats being executed in late game. A lot of times you don't even see strats that complex because late game is such a brutal part of StarCraft II. But the DT techs, the out positioning, Zerg going back into Broodlord since the role of Swarm Host has changed now.
It was a good call, and he sat the right amount of time, moved out at the right time, really got the composition he was looking for, and SOS just couldn't find a place to engage. Curious's movements were just very strong.
I guess we got a ZVZ then next, so stay tuned here. It's going to be Sax 3 against Curious in just a little bit.